Hi. Oh my gosh, I'm still hoarse. Let me make sure you guys can hear me. Not like my birthday one, right? Hello, hello. It looks like you can hear me okay. Hi. Happy Monday, beautiful people. I still don't have my voice back fully. I can't believe it. I think we're going on 2 weeks. Remember when we didn't get colds? Yeah. It's too bad we had to be quarantined in order to do that. But it was a plus. All right, beautiful people. Today we're going to talk about how to get rich. No, I literally am just going to say it to you that straight. I know. Can you stand it? I don't normally do that. I'm like, how to love people more, how to be a better human, how to not be a jackwagon, right? Yeah, no, today I'm like, how to be rich. You know why? Because if you listen to my birthday coffee with Coach, this is the year for me helping as many women as I can make a serious amount of money. So let's go. Hey, listen, as you guys come in, please say hi. My screen's over here, so I'm going to look over there to say hi. Okay, so for right now, I'm going to be drawing an angel card. Forgive me, I still have cough drops in. Cupid. All right, who out there needs love? Is it the love of money? Is it like you need to heal your relationship with love? I'm about to talk about that in a sec. So we send great waves of love into your heart and mind. Quite fitting, my beauties. Okay, awakening your love for your life itself. Your clear decision to accept and enjoy romance has triggered this reawakening. Allow yourself to spontaneously. I'm going to blame the cold, right? Okay. Allow yourself to spontaneously celebrate love in all of its various aspects. And I think that includes money. Hey guys. Oh, hey, Alex. Good morning. I know it's your favorite day of the month, right? Alex is why I love you, boo boo. All right. Cupid. I don't know if you guys can read it or not. Come on, focus. Cupid. I hope it flips it. I don't know if it does or not. I've got to go back and check. I should know this by now. Bad Sarah. All right, guys, you want to know the number one way to be rich? Number one. It actually doesn't matter what you do, meaning it doesn't matter if you work with your hands, if you're a carpenter or a plumber or a designer or an architect or, oh my gosh, someone who actually like you knit or you sew or you create with your hands. It doesn't matter if you create intellectual property. It doesn't matter if you're an artist. It doesn't matter if you're a lawyer or a doctor. You want to know the number one way to get rich? The number one way to be rich is to expand your ability to be uncomfortable. I know, but I went right at it today. Do you want to know how to be rich? Get uncomfortable. And I don't mean be immoral or do anything that's crazy or do anything that lacks integrity in order to earn money. That's not what I'm saying. And I know some of that might make you uncomfortable. Don't be crazy. Okay. I'm assuming if you hear me say learn how to be uncomfortable, you know I'm talking about common sense here, right? I'm talking about understanding what your excuses are for not expanding your ability to see wealth. Okay. And wealth comes in all forms. Health. Haha. Can't tell you how much I appreciate health right now. And that is absolutely part of being wealthy, right? Part of being abundant is to be able to use your body, in my case, my voice, right? As much as I need to in order to get my work out there. Right. It's the same for you. If you can't, it's funny. My son ended up in the emergency room last night. Sweet little love. Landed wrong on his ankle during a soccer game. Can't run up and down the stairs right now. Do you know what a luxury that is? That's expanding your understanding of wealth. That's expanding your ability to see abundance. Right? So if you're listening to what I'm saying, it's a little bit of gratitude and a lot of being uncomfortable. Okay, so it's really understanding what you already have. Listen to that. So what do you already have? And now we got to get intimately aware of what your excuses are. What are your excuses? And you're going to think big things like, I don't have time, or I don't know how to manage money. You're going to think of things like that. I'm going to ask you to go even smaller. Okay. Are you not willing to get past the cover of a book that might be able to change the way you view money? Are you not willing to stretch your ability to focus by 15 minutes a day to do what matters most to you? Are you not willing to look at the habits you have and question them? Are you not willing to look at your bank account and let it tell you what's happening for you? So one of my favorite things, I did this during the pandemic with you guys. I don't know if you remember during one of our coffees with Coach, I was like, dudes, whip out your latest credit card statement. Just whip it out. Just look at it for a second. No judgment. It'll tell you what all your priorities are. It'll tell you. You'll see it right there. It'll tell you what's important to you. Is it health, right? If you got some big Whole Foods visits on there, right? If it's education, did you have a new course? Did you sign up for something new at a university or local college? Did you decide to take an extra class? You're going to see that on there. If it's therapy, right? A lot of people are starting to do a lot of the online therapy where you charge it to your credit card. You're going to see what matters to you. And then I'm going to ask you, are you willing to get uncomfortable and question that? It's kind of cool, right? It's like really simple. And people think, oh, no, 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 but that's not going to make a difference. That's not going to help me be rich. Okay. Excuse, please. Hold, please. Excuse me. Yeah, it is. It's everything. It's everything. I use this example a lot because it's one that most women can relate to. And you're going to hear me, if you haven't heard me do it before, you're going to hear me do it now. You're probably going to hear me do it in the future because it really is impactful for people. We really understand it. So if, let's say, you want to change the shape of your body, either way, let's say you're like, I'm too skinny. I want to get a little softer, right? I'm a little softer. I want to get a little stronger, whatever you want to do. Let's say you want to do that. How do you do that? Do you make fantastic, huge sweeping changes? How many people have tried that? Fantastic, huge sweeping changes that last for about 3 days. You ever do one of those cleanses? Like, I'm going to do a 10-day cleanse. Day 3, you're like, whose freaking stupid idea was this, right? That's a big sweeping change and it tends to not work because it's some massive, huge, big sweeping change. And that's how people think about money too. Well, I must starve myself and never go to Starbucks again and save all my money and only save to my 401k and not do anything and never. That's not going to work either. You're going to freak out, just like on a cleanse. You're going to freak out and be like, I want a sandwich. I'm hungry, right? And over here, you're going to be like, dude, I just want to go to the movies. It's the same idea. But do small tweaks over time make a boatload of difference? Yeah, absolutely. You start going to the gym 2 or 3 times a week and you swap out the chips for cucumbers, slow changes, tiny things over time. Are you going to see a difference? You bet. You absolutely will. And you guys, it's the same with your relationship to money and it's the same with how you get rich. It's not big, huge, sweeping changes, you guys. It's being willing to be uncomfortable and try something you haven't tried before. There's so many wonderful books. I'm going to rattle off a couple that have helped me a lot. I really like Tony Robbins, The Game of Money and How to Play It. It's the, it's like an anthology about money. It really is. But one of the biggest takeaways for me was saving. I think, and forgive me because I don't have it in front of me, but I think it was something like start with like $100 a month. That's it. Just $100 a month. That's $25 a week. That's $5 a weekday. It's not, see, again, not a big, huge, massive sweeping change, right? I love that idea. And then every time you get a raise, make sure the savings follows the raise. Right? Oh, duh. Right? It sounds like, oh, duh. But so most of us didn't. I didn't do that for most of my life. I don't know if you do. I didn't. I didn't make sure my savings went up over, right? I mean, sometimes I'd max out my 401k sooner, but that was it. I didn't do personal savings, liquid savings for me in case, I don't know, the house fell in, or liquid savings for me to invest so that that money goes out there and earns more for me in return. I wasn't doing that. Tiny changes over time. Ilea says the paper towel effect, taking one doesn't seem like it did anything, but it's gone before you know it. I love that, Ilea. Yes, that's correct. That's exactly the feeling. Or maybe you even have that with your printing paper. Have you ever noticed that? You buy like a ream of paper. You're like, I'm going to have this thing forever. And then you're like, shoot, it's gone. It's the same, it's that same idea. Little tiny changes over time. And that's really the rub for most of us. Like, we really have a hard time with that, right? Because it's the over time thing. And that's why most of us don't have the lives that we want. And that's being willing to be uncomfortable, is staying as the time allows you to make the difference. That's where all the magic is. And that's where the tolerance for discomfort comes in. Because you'll save for 3 days and go, but Sarah, I only have $15. And I'm like, yes, that's correct. But it's $15 more than you had when you started. And over time, we know the eighth wonder of the world is compound interest, right? That works in your favor as well as it works not in your favor, right? And so looking at that over time, like, how can I do that? The other thing I want to tell you about getting rich, right, is really dealing with credit card debt. And the other really great book on this is Smart Women Finish Rich. Another great book. Now, he's more on the, what is the word I want to use? I would say it's a little bit more extreme than I would recommend you do, especially if you're just starting out. Very incredible principles, very well laid out, really smart and sharp. I just don't want it to scare you, right? So if you're just starting out, maybe save that one for next month, right? Really solid, really wonderful, but I don't want you to like try to become a bodybuilder in a month. You know what I'm saying? Like to use the health analogy again, it doesn't work that way. You might drop 5 pounds in a month. You might notice when you go to pick something up that it's lighter than you thought it was going to be. Those are the changes you'll see in a month, but you won't be in a bikini on a stage doing the thing, right? It's just not going to happen in a month. That's not how that works. Same thing with money. So I love that book, but I do want you to do that once you feel like you've sort of hit your stride with savings. Okay. The other one I really want to recommend is The Millionaire Mind. And this one's by T. Harv Eker. And T is just one, like the letter T, period. T. Harv Eker. And I think it's Ecker, I think. Um, oh, sorry. And Smart Women Finish Rich is by David Ramsey. And I'm rattling these all up by memory. So if I get them wrong, please forgive me. So that one's also really good. And what I like about his, because his is more the small changes over time, like really understanding how to do that. But he has you set up different accounts, which I love. I think that's also really smart. So you have a long-term savings, you have a short-term savings. You have money you must spend every single month. I love that part. I think that's so wise. That's like the equivalent of, if you are starting to change your habits, maybe once a month, you go out to dinner and really treat yourself to a beautiful, delicious dinner. And then the next day you get right back on track again. It's like that, like, oh my God, there's so much to enjoy in life. This is so wonderful. But the other thing I love about the idea that you have to spend this money every month and you calculate it based on how much you make is that you are experiencing what it is to be abundant. And because if you think about it, overspending and creating debt, just listen for a sec, that comes from scarcity. It doesn't seem like it, right? You're like out there like, I'm just spending money. It comes from an idea of scarcity when you're out of integrity, right? Because you're spending money you don't have. And there's times to do that and there's times not to do that. For clothes, probably not your best bet, right? Unless it's clothes that you're going to wear to, say, go to a job interview that you really want to land, or if you get a speaking engagement, or you're going to be on a video, or you're presenting something really important that that's actually an investment for long-term gain. You can see where that's going to go versus I want to wear a really great shirt so I look cute tonight. Not the time, right? And that comes from scarcity. There's never going to be enough. I'm never going to get this shirt again. I'm never going to have this night again. Like, no, chill out. There's always going to be more nights. There's always going to be great shirts. Call your friends and swap clothes. And don't spend money you don't have in that instance when there's no return on investment financially, right? You might feel really good, but you can feel really great in your friend's cute shirt too. See what I'm saying? Like start getting smart about that stuff and recognize, see what that does of like, oh my God, there are really cute shirts already in circulation that I have access to versus there's not enough. I got to get a new one. Do you see? Isn't that crazy? It doesn't seem like it's scarcity, but it actually is, right? And that is a moment of discomfort when you go, oh, my habit is I got to go buy something. Let me take a second and be uncomfortable and do something new. I'm telling you, your tolerance for discomfort is what's going to get you to be rich. So you switch over there and you go, I see now. Between all my friends, there's hundreds of shirts available to me because it's abundant. There's no scarcity there. Isn't that cool? It's kind of a different way to look at things, but you can look at it around anything that you're aiming towards, anything that you want to grow towards. So for a lot of entrepreneurs, they're like, oh my God, the competition, it's so loud, da, da, da. And you've heard me say this before, but I want you to think about it. In the United States alone, there are 330 million people. 330 million people. Let's say half of them are under 18. That's really a lot. It's not half. Okay, so that's what 165,000 people that you would have access to who could purchase your products or services. That's a lot of human beings. And if you actually look at how many you need to work with, I love saying this. You guys have heard me say this before. I'm going to say it again. How many people do you actually need to work with every single year to hit your financial goals? If you have $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 contracts, you might only need to work with 10 people. 10 people out of 156,000. I'm sorry, 156 million. Even if it was 156,000, it's still not that many. Do you see what I'm saying? Like we want to switch from like dialing into what society has handed us, which is scarcity. More is better. There's not enough. You're never going to get what you need. You have to work harder. You have to work. You can dial into that, which by the way is comfortable. right? We don't enjoy it, but we know it. So it's comfortable. And what I'm telling you is in order to get rich, you've got to get uncomfortable, which means you've got to learn to switch your response to that to wait a second. What if there's enough? What do I need to do today if there's enough? Everything switches. And when you get nervous about money, right? You're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I'm going to dare you to go to your cupboard like right now and figure out how you can make lunch without having to spend any money or dinner without having to spend any money right now. And you can do it. There's just an unlimited resource. Like it's called Google, right? All these recipes you could look up. Like I have 1 can of chickpeas, 3 cranberries, and some broccoli. What can I do? I bet you $1 million there's a recipe out there that you can find that would help you have dinner without having to spend money. And it's not like don't spend the money. That's not the point at all, right? Because that's scarcity. There's not going to be enough money. Don't spend it. No, that's not what we're coming at all. We're coming at looking at how much you already have. Isn't that cool? It's such a different, but it's uncomfortable because it's not what we've been born into. It's not the conversation, the osmosis, the society that we've born into that constantly tells you there's not enough, there's not enough, there's not enough. You got to get yours, lie and cheat and steal and run after it and go get it. As opposed to, I have enough. Oh my God, I really do. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to take this money. I'm going to go invest it. And I love this visual. This is my money. I'm going to send it out into the world. It's its own little entrepreneur and it's going to come back with more of its friends. Just keep that visual going. There's so much money out there. You guys, there's so much money out there. So much money. I promise you right now, while we're having this conversation live, there's a CEO somewhere going, we have way too much cash on our books. What can we buy? This is way too much cash. You guys, you've got to invest in something, get it out of here. And you may be the perfect business partner to walk in right at that moment and go, you know how I can help you with that? But you've got to be aware that it's out there. Instead of looking down here all the time, like, oh my God, she looks so great on Instagram. What are you doing? Why would you look at the scarcity? Do you see that's habit? Do you see that's not helpful to you at all, but it's comfortable because you know how to do it? Isn't that wild? Even though it's not healthy. It's a lot like when we get addicted to food, when we get addicted to drugs, when we get addicted to alcohol, or people get addicted to sex or gambling. The results are horrific, horrific, but the habit's comfortable. Right? And if your mind just exploded, I need you to just pull that towards you, right? Because when we look internally, it's not always so clear for us to see where we're addicted to being comfortable ourselves, right? And I know for me, I have several of these, so I just want to share with you. Mine is laziness around food. As you guys know, it's something I really struggle with, right? So having to like sit down on Sundays, make the soups that I love, make the stuff that I love. I actually invested in Daily Harvest. No, this is not an ad. I'm not an affiliate, right? Like I invested with them. I was like, okay, let's try this for a week and see so that I can grab something really quickly in between clients that's super healthy because I haven't had the time to do that lately between the changes of the diagnosis and this weekend went to hell in emergency rooms. It's good times, right? So it's like looking at all this out there. It's like, okay, that's a solution for me. That's really uncomfortable for me. It really is because I'm a really good cook. And I'm like, how effing lazy do you have to be, woman? It's like, nope, no, there's nothing more important than my health. I mean, listen to me, right? It was this recognition of I need to be abundant in my solutions here, right? And looking at like what's out there. Oh my God, another woman-owned business, somebody who's made a profound difference for people just like her who were too busy to make healthy food. Hi, can I raise my hand there? Right? And understanding, much like investing in clothes, right, that are going to help you get a return on investment, or investing in the market and things that you love and care about. Investing in this gives me more time with my clients. It allows me to get more prepared for, the monthly call that we have on Wednesday, for my sales mastermind calls, for my sprint coaching calls. Like all of these things, I need to be prepared for it. I need to be nourished well, and I haven't had as much time to cook as I would have, right? So I found a solution. Because it's that important. That's abundance. You look out there. You don't continue to stay where it's comfortable for me to run in the kitchen, grab a couple almonds, shove them in my face, come in here and be starving. Who does that help? Right? That's not the way I want to do this. So that would be me being comfortable, would be to stay there. What was uncomfortable was for me to open my mindset and go, wait a second, I need support here. How do I do this better? That's abundance. Isn't that funny? I know here I am telling you how to this is actually how you get rich. And I'm like, sometimes you're going to have to spend a little bit of money. For those of you just starting out, if you've made your business a hobby for all this time, And you're like, I can't have anybody help me. I can't do this. I can't do that. That is a scarcity mindset. And I talk about my favorite Shark Tank participant all the time. I love her, the one who did the no seam towels, right? And she needed a patent. Her neighbor was a patent lawyer. She made her neighbor curtains. The neighbor gave her patent. You guys, there's always abundance out there. If you decide you are going to get uncomfortable and ask your neighbor for their expertise while you give them yours in that example, right? You're going to produce results. If you consistently stay where you already are, you're going to produce exactly what you already have. That is one of my favorite quotes. I say it to you guys all the time. If you want something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. That's uncomfortable. And the number one way I can tell if someone's going to make it financially or not in one conversation, in one. You might go, Sarah, that's ridiculous. Okay, I can. And I learned this really. It's funny. I've learned it over my 13 years of running this business, but I really learned it when I was at a startup and we would have to pitch for venture capital, right? Because you know me, I know you're shocked. I would chat up the VCs after the conversations and talk to them. And I was always so interested. I don't think my boss particularly loved me for this, but I was just so interested. I was like, here you are with all this extra money. You're like, do I write them a $6 million check or not? I'm like, what is that like? Right? I was so interested in this. Like, here are these human beings who can make or break somebody's business idea. I mean, that's a lot of power, right? And how the hell do they know who to invest in? I mean, how the hell do they know? And they told me it's attitude. They said, we see the projections. That's all BS and we know it. I was like, oh, they know that that's BS? Because we didn't know. We could project out based on how the numbers were growing and how people use technology and what we think could happen, but we don't freaking know. We haven't done it yet, right? So it is made up on one hand. I mean, it's made up based on facts, but like we don't know. It's the future. You can only do financial projections for so much, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, and I said, so then what are you investing in? They said, the person. We can tell by the fight in the person. And here's where people get this messed up. So I want you to listen to me really carefully, okay? I am not saying go max out your credit cards and get your website built and hire an assistant and get a copy editor. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, do you want the website done? Figure it out. Figure it out. If you have something to offer, figure it out. Some people might say no. How willing are you to be uncomfortable? How willing are you to go out and have those conversations and say, you know what? I really need this. I love your work. I'm just starting out. Would you be willing to do something like this with me? Or can we create a payment plan? You guys, that will tell me whether or not you're going to make it. And not for me. Like, I'm not saying like you have to pass the Sarah Wallen test. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that for you to figure it out for you. Like, that will tell you whether or not you're willing to make it. What excuses are you putting in the way? I don't like the way that book looks. Okay. Really? So that's going to win over you being rich. Okay, done. That's too hard for me to do. Really? Okay, done. I don't know how to send emails like that. Is that going to be your excuse or you're going to Google it and figure it out? Do you see what I'm saying? It really is about your ability to deal with discomfort, to sit in it for a little bit and allow that to stretch you and expand you and work on you. Because, like I said during my birthday coffee with Coach a week ago, I don't know, a week ago, is that I totally just lost my train of thought because I had to count the days. It'll come back to me. But the risk of running things live, right? Oh my goodness. So anyway, what I'll tell you right now is where you're willing to expand. Here's what I was going to say is where you're going to be willing to win. And that will make or break whether or not you make money. Right there. That will tell you right there whether or not you're going to end up making money in a split second. It's too hard. Okay. Done. That's it. Okay. It's too hard. You're not going to be rich. Done. Okay. Even though you have the entire World Wide Web at your fingertips, right? You can literally learn how to do anything, most of it here on YouTube. True or true? I mean, I learned how to edit video on YouTube in a weekend. Not saying everyone should do that, but I did. Learned how to use this mic, learned how to use the camera, learned how to, I don't have it. It's here, my little streaming box that I have to use in order to stream to you. I had to Google all that. I had to figure it out. I had to learn it. Mostly because it was during the pandemic and no one could come in and show me, right? So that's where you look. Would that have stopped me in the past? It might have. Not anymore. Not anymore. Right? So you want to look for yourself. Where are you stopping? Where are you not willing to be uncomfortable? Because that's where the gold is. Literally and figuratively, that's where all the gold is. And what I said on my birthday coffee with Coach is that the real prize is who you're becoming as you overcome this. Now, you might be listening to this and thinking, well, Sarah, sales isn't hard for me. That's awesome. First of all, that's great. I'm not afraid of money. Awesome. Do you have as much as you want? And not out of the scarcity, more is better BS lie that we were born into, but are you really satisfied for you with the amount that you have? Right? Because we've already said the money's already out there, it's in circulation. Right? It's already, you can watch it all day, every day. Go to the grocery store, watch how much money is changing hands. I always say go to a Starbucks, look at how much money is changing hands. Just watch it. Look at the freaking lines at Dunkin' Donuts. I'm like, people get out of your car, but that's another coffee with Coach for another time. Like, look at all the money that's changing hands over donuts and coffee, you guys. There is so much money out there. And what I want you to get really clear about is how much do you want to have a say over? Because I would much rather that money be in your hands than say, oligarchs that invade countries. Don't ban me, YouTube. Right? Like, seriously, wouldn't you rather have that money in your hands? Even if it's like an eighth of that money, it's a lot of freaking money. 16th, 1/32 of that, right? Wouldn't you rather have a say? Because I would bet you would have that go to really amazing causes, or you'd invest in other women owned businesses, or you'd invest in environmentally friendly businesses, or you'd start your own company that does things like that. Or you'd be like the woman who founded Daily Harvest and say, I have a big problem here, and I think it's a problem I'm not the only one suffering with. Let me solve it. Wouldn't you rather the money be in circulation around that? Is there a university that's starting to fail that you care about? Is there an art museum that's about to close that you care about? What do you want your legacy around money to be? Where do you want to direct that money to go? As you know, we have our 7-figure goal here at Team Sarah for this year. Oh my gosh, it makes me so scared every time I say that. Sweating, right? I love it. I'd rather play that game than sit around not playing that game, right? If I fail, I don't give a crap. We'll be further than we were before, right? But I'm going for it anyway, right? That's not about me having that money. That's about me having a say over where that money goes. Do you get that? I hope that really goes in because that's what this is about for you. Because being rich, we all know, like there's only so much stuff you can have, really. Right. And if you're like cooked, you're like totally cool and you're done, awesome. Good for you. As long as you feel satisfied, that's great. That is being rich. It's being totally satisfied that you have stretched yourself and expanded yourself to be the best version of you in this one and only life that you've been given. Because you got one shot. That's why I say the game is on. You've got one shot at all of this. Are you as expanded and challenged and as developed and as big as you say you really want to be in this one and only life that you have? And how willing are you to be uncomfortable in that growth? Just think about that for a second. All right, where are we? Oh, we have 2 minutes left. My gosh, I talk so much. Hi guys, I see there's more of you on here. If you want to say hi, come say hi so I can give you a shout out. And if you want to be shy and hide, that's okay too. I won't tell. So I have a challenge for you today. Sorry, my son and my dog are fighting. So I have a challenge for you today. Okay, just one. I want you to do one thing that you know could impact your revenue or your income. One thing that you could do today that scares the crap out of you. I'm serious. Send the email, make the phone call, follow up with somebody who canceled on you or couldn't make it or said no initially. Just check in on them today. Whatever it is that you know could actually impact your long-term revenue or your long-term income or your ability to be rich so that you have the most fulfilled, expanded, gorgeous version of the life that you want. Deal? Okay. All right, you guys, I love you to bits. Thank you so much for stopping in today and putting up with both my cold and my little bit of brain fog. I love you guys to bits. Please take this challenge seriously, okay? If you feel so inclined, you don't have to, but even come back and put a comment, and you don't have to tell us what you did. Just say, I did it. Sarah, I took on the challenge today. I did it. Just watch how much better you feel about yourself. That is how you get rich, is you put yourself in the moment of discomfort and you take it on. All right, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful April. It's springtime. Everybody's awake, at least here in North America, right? Like brighten yourself up. Open yourself up to what's possible. Look at all the abundance around you. Let the scarcity go and start getting uncomfortable. All right, you guys, love you to bits. Bye.